You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, residents in Oklahoma were encouraged to shop local on Sunday. Our very own Samantha Walker shares how the statewide event benefits everyone. And Joplin residents had an opportunity to have a cup of coffee with the mayor. We'll hear how this event brings city government closer to its residents. We have an alert day today. Dangerous heat across the area with heat index values pushing 110 degrees. We'll have a look at that forecast to get you out the door coming up. Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Chris Warner. It is just after 7 a.m. on this Monday morning. Of course, we're streaming here we're live here on Fox 14, streaming on the KOAM Plus app on your streaming device of your choice. So thank you for joining us wherever you may be. We do have a relatively unpleasant day again across the area, and we're going to get to the details on that in the forecast in just a moment. But first, we're going to head down to Oklahoma, where small businesses across the state joined together Sunday to participate in the Weekend of Local. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on the statewide event that helps promote local businesses.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the Donkey's Den.
Thank you.
The Donkey's Den in Miami is just one of more than 350,000 small businesses in Oklahoma. For owner Kyla Jones, being a local business is important.
As part of the Donkey's Den, it's been my mission so far to incorporate the community as much as I possibly can. I fell in love with Miami a few years ago when I got here, and my love has just continued to grow. I love the people, I love working with the community, I love working with the city, I love working with the chamber, all the different elements together, the different shopkeepers, the different business owners, all together. You'd be amazed at how much all of us work together.
Her store is one of the hundreds across Oklahoma to join in the statewide event Weekend of Local, which emphasizes shopping at small, locally owned businesses.
All of us working together, trying to get people to come in and shop locally, get your feet on the ground, get out and walk, have some fun, entertain yourself, but keeping it local by supporting small businesses and local businesses that really need it the most, especially in these trying times.
She says this is a time when small businesses really need help.
I think right now overall things are just hard for everybody, and that's understandable and that's okay, but that's not where I feel my responsibility is. I feel my responsibility is to stay here and do the best that I can to provide something beautiful for Miami.
According to the Miami, Oklahoma Main Street organization, for every dollar spent at a locally owned business, 67 cents goes back into the community. That's more than if that dollar was spent at a national retailer.
If you shop local, the more you shop local, the more you're actually doing to support your local community.
And the importance of shopping local is not lost on customers. For Dee Jones, a small business owner herself, she says she prefers to shop local as she believes they are the backbone of communities.
It's small businesses that make our country great. And so when you have a small business in your community, a local business, and they're doing a good job, they have done something beautiful for you or providing a service that is, above the standard like Donkey's Den has done, then you want to support them. You want to come out and be a part of that. And so yes, I feel like it is key to every community to support their small businesses that are just right around them.
Reporting in Miami, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Weekend of Local is organized by the Independent Shopkeepers Association in Oklahoma, along with the help of local Main Street organizations and chambers of commerce. And of course, it's always important to shop local wherever and whenever you can, because as they mentioned in the story, most of what you spend at a local business stays in your community, and it supports the people in your community. And we've got a very hot day across the area today with dangerous heat continuing. We're going to start with a live look from what we're calling now Wasp Cam 2024 on top of the Cornell complex in downtown Joplin. We've got a fairly active wasp nest out there, and they seem to be busier in the mornings than in the evenings. But otherwise, just a few clouds, very hazy. There's that bee. Looking pretty good so far, aside from the wasps. And take a look at the haze from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Look at the glow it's giving around the sun out there. So again, it is already humid across the area, and it's going to stay that way. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking back to the north, looking fairly good as well as folks get their day underway. However, we do have heat advisories across the area through 8 o'clock this evening and excessive heat warnings into northeastern Oklahoma through 8 this evening. And again, the Weather Service office in Springfield, which controls Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties in Kansas, and then this zone of our area in southwest Missouri, has already put out heat advisories again for tomorrow. So after these expire at 8 this evening, they'll go back into effect tomorrow and run through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And again, wouldn't be surprised if we see more of these reissued as we head into our Tuesday as the dangerous heat continues. Future track, just a few clouds here and there. We'll have gusty south-southwest winds pushing 20-25 miles an hour. And temperatures today, look out west. You could easily reach the lower 100s. And our heat index values today are going to be pushing about 110 degrees. Already quite warm out there this morning as we're into the upper 70s for most of us across the area. Those south winds already beginning to get gusty. Again, highs today on the average about 100 degrees out there. And again, some of you could be a little hotter than that. All of us looking at heat index values again approaching 110. So make sure you're taking precautions out there. Stay hydrated as best you can. And if you can, just simply avoid being outdoors. That's probably the best option at this point with this dangerous heat. We do have some rain on the way, and that does mean some relief from the heat as well. We'll have the details on that in the full forecast a little later. In this morning's top stories, Joplin native Matt McCauley's film Undefiled was shown during Second Sunday Cinema at the Cornell Complex in Joplin. The faith-based film is about a man who's on a baseball team and discovers the team's secret that he has a hard time dealing with and how he navigates that situation.
5, almost 6 years worth of work from beginning to end to get that thing done. And so, yeah, really always neat to have an audience that you don't know and see their reaction to it. The first couple times we showed it back in February, people reacted to things that I didn't think they would react to. You know, really kind of a neat thing.
Other films shown Sunday include I Broke Out of Prison, a documentary about Retiah Rogers, and On Angel's Wings by Julie Stalker of Springfield. Well, if you want to speak to your city officials, like your mayor or city council members, you usually have to do it at a city council meeting. But what about doing so over a cup of coffee? KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how the city of Joplin is trying just that.
My coffee is hot and ready to go.
A local coffee shop is a great place to meet up with friends and family. But for Joplin residents, it's also a place to meet with the mayor.
Have a cup of coffee, meet the mayor. There are a couple other council members here too. We'd love to sit down and chat with you. Let's talk about what affects our community, how we can make it better.
Mayor Keenan Cortez came to Zinc Coffee, sitting at a table ready to talk to anyone who came up to him. It's a relaxed and open setting, not like the city council chambers or meeting rooms Cortez is usually seen in.
I think it just opens us all up, makes us a little bit vulnerable to have good conversations. Everybody's relaxed. I got my blue jeans on, my polo today. Let's just sit down and have a good, honest, deep conversation about what affects all of us in this community.
Cortez spoke with residents about city issues that had them concerned or they wanted to ask questions about. He addressed topics including the city budget, public transportation, and current city projects including fiber installation, the city housing program, and the Prospect Village proposal. Joplin resident and former city council member Morris Glaze used the opportunity to discuss with Cortez why he thought there needed to be a review of the city charter.
It's important for citizens to know their councilman. So I came out to speak to the mayor on one issue and we spoke and he gave me a good answer.
He says it's important that attendees like him have the opportunity to bring up the issues that really matter to them.
That's a very good idea. I appreciate the mayor opening himself up to the public input. It's very important for him to be the mayor of Joplin and listen to the citizens.
Cortez says he hopes opening himself up to the citizens to answer their questions face to face will help city officials' relationships with the community grow.
I think it's been far too long that government and the citizens it represents have been separated. This is just my effort and the city's effort to try to close that gap and bring everybody together so we can have constructive conversations about what's happening in our community.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Mayor Cortez says he hopes to hold similar events in the future to continue engaging with the community. That's some of our top stories this half hour. Coming up next, AJ Stock from Charlie 22 joins us this morning here to tell you how you could help local veterans. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Charlie 22 is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to help struggling veterans. AJ Stock, a representative of Charlie 22, joins us this morning to share how you could help. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. So in terms of this, what exactly, for those who may not know, what is it that Charlie 22 Outdoors does?
Well, we are a nonprofit, faith-based organization, and what our goal is we bring veterans in from all over the country and take them out on faith-based events. You know, we do everything from hunting and fishing to NASCAR to golfing events to deep sea fishing, and you know, we host quite a few events throughout the year, so stay pretty busy.
And so you're talking about some of the activities that you guys do provide, but I also understand you've got an auction and a big banquet coming up as we head into August here.
Yeah, we do. So we kind of switched things up a little bit this year. Previous years we usually hold our banquet toward the end of August, but this year we're doing it on August 10th, and it's being held at the College Heights Athletic Center on North Prosperity here in Joplin. The doors open at 5, the silent auction starts at 5, dinner starts at 6, and the live auction starts at 7, and generally in years past we're usually done around 9. But you know, it's free admission, and we also have a couple sponsorship tables. We're doing 2 different sponsorship tables this year. We're doing an Alpha sponsorship and a Bravo sponsorship. And we actually have a few of tables left of each. Alpha sponsorship is $1,000, and you have an opportunity to get a drawing into a $2,500 gift card to John Sporting Goods.
Okay.
The Bravo sponsorship tables, you are entered to win a 50-50 chance on winning a firearm. So there's going to be a lot of live auction items available, a lot of silent auctions items available, and it's one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, so we always look forward to it.
How important is it for you to have these fundraisers and for folks to come out and support you guys?
Very important. You know, being nonprofit, obviously for us to be able to do what we do is we have to raise money. You know, a lot of our bigger events, generally per veteran, it costs between, I would say, $250 to $300 per veteran to do this, because we pay for their airfare, we pay for their, you know, the food, their all their travel expenses, the hunting licenses and everything. So for us to be able to do this is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year, and helps us get through all of our events pretty much on a yearly basis. So.
All right, and for folks who don't know this, Charlie 22, that number has significant meaning for the veteran community.
It sure does. You know, Charlie 22 is, you know, it represents, the number 22 represents 22 veteran suicides a day across our country, and you know, a lot of veterans are suffering from PTSD, and you know, these events that we put on, we mainly do this to help with that, and also just to love on veterans and just show them God's grace.
All right. Well, thank you so much, AJ, for coming in this morning. Again, the banquet and auction, again, will be at College Heights Athletic Center, North Prosperity out there, August the 10th, starting at 5, and you can find out more information on their website, charlie22outdoors.com. We'll have that on our website as well. When we come back, we'll have a full look at your forecast. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 7:18 on this Monday morning, and we have an alert day today for dangerous heat across the area as we're looking at heat index values reaching 110. We're going to recap that number again for you, too, just to remind you of how dangerous it's going to be out there. So as we head into the afternoon, temperatures will be climbing. There may be a stray cloud here or there, and the further west you go, the hotter it is. It could be reaching highs into the lower 100s, say Chanute, Fredonia, Yates Center, Coffeyville, Bartlesville, and even down into parts of northeastern Oklahoma here, Miami, Veneta at 100, and that's where we're expected for most of us to be, is about 100 degrees for the high today. Then as we head into our Tuesday, even though we're going to have some cloud cover, it's not going to do anything for the heat, as we're getting ahead of a system that's going to be bringing in more warm, moist air with a south-southwesterly wind again. We'll also bring the opportunity, even starting early in the morning, for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Now, these are going to be isolated out there, but the ones we see could be strong, the low-grade severe, with maybe some small hail and gusty winds. But But as you also see, as we cycle through all of this, they're relatively short-lived. Now, see the wind arrow circulating around that particular storm? That is the catalyst of a low pressure that's going to bring us a thunderstorm complex as we go overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and that could bring another round of strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms and, more importantly though, some more much-needed rainfall out there across the area. But again, as we head into our Wednesday morning, get our commute underway, some stronger storms may be ongoing. Again, small hail, gusty winds, the primary concern with those storms. Once that main complex rolls out of here, we're going to start to clear out. We get on the backside of this system, winds shift out of the north, and that'll help keep our temperatures a bit cooler and make it a little more manageable out there. And we still could see an isolated or scattered shower or thunderstorm as we head into Wednesday afternoon, but at this time, we're not anticipating any of that activity to be strong or severe. It'll be short-lived and it will clear on out of here. So again, tomorrow we have that low-end risk for strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms across the area, initially with the pop-up storms, then with that complex of storms overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning, and then at this point, just those scattered storms on Wednesday. Heat advisories across the area through 8 this evening, excessive heat warnings in the parts of northeastern Oklahoma through 8 this evening. And as we've mentioned, the Springfield Weather Office, which is this part of southeast Kansas and this section of our area in southwest Missouri, has already reissued the heat advisories. They'll go back into effect tomorrow and run through 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Our heat risk today goes from major to extreme across the area. There's slight improvement Tuesday, but not significant improvements. That's why we're still looking at dangerous heat for our Tuesday. But by Wednesday and Thursday, we get into that minor risk. So still a bit muggy, still a little warm out there, but considerably more manageable. And don't forget, we have a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. You can already see the haze out there, quite muggy. Dew point is 71 in Joplin, humidity is 79%. 78 is the temperature, feels like 80. South breeze at 11, already beginning to gust, and it could gust upwards of 25 today. Temperatures this morning have been hanging out in the mid to upper 70s, pushing close to 80. Our heat index values for many of us have been hovering in the low 80s as we've gotten the day underway, which of course is that sign as to just how much hotter it's going to get later today. Sunny skies through the morning and near 90 by 11 o'clock. And again, maybe a passing cloud or two. Highs tomorrow into the upper 90s once again for a number of us. That's why some of those heat advisories already going back into effect for tomorrow. Thunderstorms in there into Wednesday. That gets us down into the mid 80s, and we'll hold on to 80s and maybe some low 90s as we head into the weekend and the start of next week. And we'll have an opportunity for a few additional showers by next Tuesday and Wednesday. That is a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News here on Fox 14, live on... I am not Elise Noe. I wish I was that tall, but I am not. I am Chris Warner. We're live on Fox 14 and, of course, streaming on the KOAM Plus app on your streaming device of choice. Moving on to today's top stories. Just before 8 a.m. Sunday, a serious crash closed I-44 westbound near the Main Street exit. Joplin police say a westbound pickup truck went off the road, struck a rock cliff, overturning violently. Joplin firefighters had to quickly use tools to free the driver from the wreckage. Captain William Davis tells KOAM the driver was the only occupant and was rushed to an area hospital in critical condition. Joplin Police Department's major crash team is conducting an investigation of the crash. Traffic was reopened after about 2 hours. Baxter Springs held the 4th annual Face-Off at the Forge. The event features competitions and booths from Forged in Fire contestants and other bladesmiths from across the region. The event also had a whole wide array of bladesmithing materials so that beginners could get into the art.
It's kind of not a real competition. It's more or less to show people what can be done and what we can do and what it takes to make a knife. We pick on each other through the competition. It's a lot of it's for show, but it's, you know, we take joy and pride in winning.
Food trucks were also available at the event for everyone to enjoy. Well, George Washington Carver National Monument celebrating its 81st anniversary Saturday with the Carver Day celebration. Guests could view exhibits from area organizations, and there was music from 6 different bands as well as guest speakers. The event ended with a special film presentation about Carver.
Well, it's a great thing, you know, that this park has been here for 81 years. It's the first park in the National Park Service dedicated to an African American. So that's quite an achievement. And so we love to celebrate George Washington Carver's life every day, but on this day, it's a little extra special.
The celebration also included peanut milk demonstrations. And it's going to be a hot day across the area. We have an alert day today for dangerous heat as we're looking at, there's that wasp. This is Wasp Cam 2024 until that nest moves on. We are looking, though, at dangerous heat across the area. It's a live look from our camera on the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. Just a few clouds out there, and as you can see, already breezy. We're going to have south-southwesterly winds gusting upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour. Again, spotty cloud cover. It is hazy. It is humid out there. And the MoDOT camera, 20th in range line, looking back to the north as we see folks getting their day underway on what is, again, going to be a hot day. Heat advisories across the area through 8 this evening, and excessive heat warnings in the northeastern Oklahoma until 8 this evening as well. We can see heat index values pushing 110 degrees, and Springfield Weather Office, which again is part of southeast Kansas and this section of our area in southwest Missouri, has gone ahead and reissued these heat advisories tomorrow as well. So they'll kick back in tomorrow and run through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Wouldn't be surprised if we see more of them pop up across the area as we head into our Tuesday as well. Future track into the afternoon and evening, other than a few clouds, it is going to be hot. The further west you go, the hotter it is. Could see highs into the lower 100s and not much relief. Even at 8 o'clock this evening, still close to 100 degrees in some of our western counties out there. Already warm, muggy, and uncomfortable out there this morning. Temperatures upper 70s, pushing close to 80 degrees. And again, we're looking at sunny skies, maybe a stray cloud or two through the majority of the day. Most of us averaging a high of about 100 degrees. Some of us could be a little hotter than that. All of us having to deal with those heat index values pushing up to 110 across the area. So again, if you don't have to be outdoors, don't. But if you do, make sure you're staying hydrated, finding shade, and taking precautions. And of course, we've got some heat safety tips on our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, the FBI is still investigating the motive in Saturday's attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Not much is known about the suspected shooter, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who's described as a lone wolf who acted alone. Another big question still unanswered is how the Secret Service allowed him to get so close to the rally armed with a rifle on a rooftop just about 130 yards away from where Trump was speaking. Fox News correspondent C.V. Cotton has the latest.
Former President Donald Trump arriving in Milwaukee Sunday night for the start of the Republican National Convention.
Take a look at what happened.
Only about 24 hours after the attempt on his life Saturday in Pennsylvania. The FBI believes the shooter acted alone and says he had little to no social media presence. The suspect was not previously known to law enforcement and had no known history of mental health issues. Meanwhile, the Secret Service is investigating how the shooter was able to get so close and into position without their agents noticing.
We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage?
Nobody should be within that area armed, much less crawling on the rooftop of a tall building.
The agency coming under an incredible amount of scrutiny for what's being viewed as an inexcusable security breach. Despite that, they maintain they are fully prepared to secure the RNC this week.
We are confident in these security plans that are in place for this event, and we're ready to go.
President Biden has ordered an independent investigation into the shooting, urging Americans to stay calm at a time when the country is on edge.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Here in Pennsylvania, the governor has ordered flags flown at half-staff in honor of the 50-year-old firefighter Corey Comparator, who was killed. His family says he died a hero, shielding his wife and daughters from the gunfire. In Pennsylvania, C.B. Cotton, Fox News.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Have you ever wondered if extreme temperatures can affect your medication? Ted Linder shares what hidden dangers could be lurking. In Consumer Watch this morning, Wall Street is on a raging bull run in a big way, but how will it rate with interest rates. On Friday, the Standard & Poor's 500 index set an all-time high for a third straight day, and the Dow Jones Industrial Index closed over the 40,000 mark within a breath of its all-time high close set on May 17th. But with higher unemployment and lower Treasury yields, speculation says it's time for main interest rate cuts. Lower interest rates could help everything like lower mortgage and student loan rates and credit card rate charges. Feeling okay about your future retirement? A new survey by investment firm BlackRock says 68% of Americans think they're staying the course in their retirement planning. That's up 11% over the last year. But 60% also worry about outliving their investments when they retire. Vanguard data says employer-sponsored retirement funds are averaging more than $134,000, but Americans think they need $1.46 million to retire comfortably. Well, so far this summer, extreme heat waves have been baking the country to a blistery crisp. And while exposure to soaring temperatures can trigger heat-related illnesses in people like heat exhaustion or heat stroke, health experts warn those on certain medications can be more prone to these types of risks. Fox News' Ted Lindner takes a closer look.
While the National Weather Service says extreme heat is the #1 cause of weather-related deaths in the country, health experts are raising more red flags this season, citing how surging summer temperatures can increase the risk of heat-related illnesses for millions by intensifying the side effects of many common medications.
When we talk about the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion, if you have a small percentage of experiencing headache, confusion, and dizziness, but you have a handful of other medications that do have those small percentages of that side effect, well, those slowly start to add up.
For instance, many blood pressure pills can reduce fluid in the blood, causing people to become dehydrated.
If you're on medications that maybe increase the amount of fluids that you're getting rid of, maybe decrease the amount of sweating that your body naturally produces, I definitely recommend making sure that you're consuming adequate amounts of water.
This, as some types of antidepressants can interfere with the body's ability to stay cool.
Thinking about heat as a quote-unquote medication that provides its own side effects, that in combination with other medications could definitely cause what we like to call like a perfect storm.
But certain medications could also impact the body's exterior. Beta blockers for heart problems are known to decrease blood flow to the skin, and topical remedies for acne can increase the skin's sensitivity to the sun.
Making sure you're wearing appropriate clothing, potentially clothing that has UV blocking abilities, and making sure you're using sunscreen.
Pharmacists say it's critical patients talk with their healthcare providers to learn more about staying safe. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:45. Sorry, it's not 5:40. It's 7:45 now on this Monday morning. It's been a Monday, as you can tell, and it's going to be a dangerous one. We do have an alert day today for dangerous heat across the area. The future track, we are dry for today. Maybe a few clouds here and there, and the further west you go, the hotter it gets out there, and our heat index values pushing close to 110. Now, as we go into our Tuesday, starting even early in the morning, you can see temperatures still uncomfortable at 5 a.m. in the low 80s. We could see a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms throughout the day on Tuesday. These, as you can see, are going to be very isolated and very short-lived, but they could be strong to low-grade severe with some small hail and some gusty winds. So we'll keep an eye on them. But you see this rotating around this particular pop-up storm? That's a low-pressure system that's going to bring us a storm complex overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning. And some of those storms could be strong to low-grade severe as well as they come through starting or leading into our morning commute on Wednesday. So do be prepared for that, and especially be prepared for heavy rain and the possibility of some flash flooding here and there. Now, the good news is once we get on the backside of this, we could still be seeing a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms, but the winds shift out of the north, and that's going to help us be a little cooler for our Wednesday, and we could see a few additional scattered storms later in the afternoon on Wednesday, and then we'll clear out as we head into Wednesday night. As mentioned, though, the storms Tuesday and then into Tuesday night, There's a low-end risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms with small hail, gusty winds across most of the area, and we do not have a severe threat for the afternoon thunderstorms that we could see on Wednesday. We also have the heat advisories across the area as well through 8 o'clock this evening, and excessive heat warnings into northeastern Oklahoma until 8 this evening. And as we've mentioned, the Springfield Weather Office, which covers Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties in Kansas and this section of our area into Missouri, has gone ahead and reissued these heat advisories to go back into effect tomorrow and run through tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. Our heat risk today, major to extreme, and it is not going to improve significantly tomorrow. We'll still have moderate, major, and patchy extreme heat risks out there for our Tuesday, and our highs Tuesday going to upper 90s once again. But thanks to the storms, the cloud cover, and that north wind on Wednesday and Thursday, we see our heat risk drop down to the minor range, and even by Friday, take a look at this, little to no risk showing up out there as well before temperatures start to warm up. They're going to be slightly better as we head into the second half of this week. Again, don't forget we have a number of extreme heat safety tips on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Few clouds in Joplin, otherwise mostly clear. 78 feels like 80. At Dew Point it's 71. Humidity is at 79%. South breeze at 11, but it's already beginning to gust and will continue to gust upwards of 20 to 25 miles an hour throughout the region today. Temperatures upper 70s, starting to see some low 80s out there, and you factor in the humidity in Dew Point now, we've got heat index values low to mid 80s across most of the area, and it's going to continue to heat up as we go through the day. Sunny skies through the morning, near 90 by 11 o'clock, so that means those heat index values will already be into the upper 90s, near 100 by the lunch hour out there, and that is again ahead of highs today approaching about 100 degrees on average, but as we showed you on Future Track, some of you out west could make it into the lower 100s. Upper 90s again for our Tuesday. We got those thunderstorm chances. That kicks us down into the mid 80s, and we'll hold on to slightly more manageable temperatures as we head into the weekend. Upper 80s, low 90s, and we have another round of some scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms by next Tuesday and Wednesday. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Well, 2 New York firefighters jumped into action when they learned of a baby right outside of their station. Now they're being praised for their actions. John Dias reports.
We were completely caught off guard.
26-year-old EMT Mia Chin and her partner Patrick Femer had just parked their ambulance back at their station on West 23rd Street after ending their shift around 3 Thursday morning. Chin just coming off a volunteer double when suddenly they say there was a knock at their window.
A man approached the ambulance and knocked on our window and informed us that there was a newborn infant abandoned on the sidewalk.
The two jumped into action, finding that newborn baby boy right next to their ambulance under the High Line. He was alert, but naked and alone.
The umbilical cord was still attached to the child. It was a fresh delivery, so it probably happened moments before.
Chin has been on the job for about a year, and Femer only 2, but don't let their lack of experience fool you.
We relied on what the fire department has taught us time and time again.
The baby was then transported to a hospital and is listed in stable condition. The FDNY commissioner praising the 2 rookies.
Are they heroes? Of course.
The EMTs say a nearby doorman at a high-end apartment building is the one who alerted them. This building super tells us he spoke to that doorman right after.
When he came out, he saw a clump of something on the floor, on the concrete. And he heard the baby crying. He, as a young kid, he said, "Oh my God, I never seen nothing like this before."
Neighbors we spoke with are shocked, but relieved the baby will be okay.
Good thing that the ambulance are right there, and they got help.
It's great that they came out and did something about it.
Certainly an incredible story of being in the right place at the right time. Well, we've got an alert day today, dangerous heat across the area, and as we head into the afternoon hours, we're not going to see much improvement on the future track. We're looking at highs, especially in our western counties, maybe even into the lower 100s, but we do have that possibility of some pop-up storms throughout the day on our Tuesday. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe, and they'll be very isolated, though, throughout the day Tuesday. And as we go overnight Tuesday into Wednesday morning, we'll have a thunderstorm complex roll through the area, another round of strong, low-grade severe storms possible, and that'll leave us with a few scattered storms for our Wednesday and cooler temperatures as we get on the backside of this system. We'll have another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A rollover crash closes parts of I-44 near the Main Street exit early Sunday morning. Joplin police say a westbound pickup truck went off the road and struck a rock cliff, overturning violently. The driver was the only occupant and was rushed to an area hospital in critical condition. An investigation is currently on point. Mayor Keenan Cortez made a visit to Zinc Coffee over the weekend, invited community members to come and talk to him one-on-one. The event was held in the hopes of making public officials more accessible to residents. Mayor Cortez says he hopes these conversations can help bridge the gap between the city and community members. And we have an alert day today for dangerous heat across the area. Highs averaging about 100 degrees, sunny skies, south-southwest winds gusting up to 25, and heat index values upwards of 110 degrees. So make sure you're taking precautions, stay hydrated, stay indoors if you can. Doesn't cool off much in the evening, still 90 by 10. Overnight lows near 80 under clear skies. Upper 90s tomorrow. That's why some of those heat advisories continue. Isolated pop-up storms and then a thunderstorm complex overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Some of those could be strong, low-grade severe. And then we will see a few scattered storms on Wednesday, a little bit cooler into the mid-80s, and we'll hang out with more manageable temperatures into the weekend, upper 80s, low 90s, more rain chances next week. Well, California's Oakland Zoo recently unleashed fire goats on the hills of the zoo grounds to mitigate the possibility of a fire erupting during the state's wildfire season. Video released by the zoo shows the goats chomping on the dry grasses, which the zoo said reduces the potential of fires during the hot months of the year. In a statement from the zoo, the goats get lots of delicious natural food and we lower our fire threat. And that is an eco-friendly win-win. I'm sure the goats thoroughly enjoy all of that fresh grazing out there. That is a lot of goats. Definitely could use those to help mow the lawn. Save a little fuel, save a little time. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather today at noon. Have a great rest of your day.